Marcus Carter wiped the sweat from his forehead as the sound of grinding metal echoed through the repair shop. The air was thick with the smell of oil and gasoline, and the faint hum of blues music played from an old radio in the corner. It was another long Friday in Detroit, and Marcus, 32 years old, had been working non-stop since morning. His hands were calloused, his blue jumpsuit smudged with grease, and his dark brown eyes carried the calm focus of a man who loved what he did. He wasn't rich, but every nut, bolt, and engine he touched came to life under his care. That afternoon, the peace of the shop shattered when a deep, rumbling growl of a Harley-Davidson echoed through the garage door. The mechanics turned their heads as the bike rolled in, shining chrome and black leather, catching the light. The rider was a tall, muscular white man, with tattoos crawling up his neck, a black vest stitched with the unmistakable red and white Hells Angels logo. Everyone froze. The man pulled off his helmet, revealing a hard face with sharp blue eyes and a trimmed beard. "Who's in charge here?" he barked. The shop went silent until Marcus stepped forward, wiping his hands on a rag. Marcus wasn't intimidated. He'd seen tougher men and worse tempers in his years, fixing cars in Detroit's rough neighborhoods. "Looks like your clutch housing's cracked," he said calmly, kneeling to inspect the bike. "Won't last another ride." The biker, Rex Dalton, grunted. "You sure about that, man?" "Most mechanics won't even touch my ride." Marcus smirked slightly. "Then I guess they're not mechanics." Rex stared for a second, then stepped back. "All right, show me what you got." The rest of the crew watched in disbelief as Marcus rolled the Harley onto a stand, stripped the engine open, and began working with precision and speed. For the next hour, the shop filled with the rhythmic clinking of tools, the hiss of air pressure, and the occasional hum of the radio. Marcus moved like a surgeon, diagnosing every detail, replacing parts, and cleaning components with careful hands. Rex stood nearby, arms crossed, studying him silently. When Marcus finally hit the ignition, the Harley roared to life with a deep, flawless growl. The biker's face softened, and he let out a surprised laugh. "Damn, you're good," Rex said, nodding with respect. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a folded $100 bill, and pressed it into Marcus's hand. "You saved my ride, man. Drinks on me tonight." But before Marcus could even respond, the shop manager, Rick Sanders, stormed out of his office, his face twisted with anger. "Marcus, what the hell do you think you're doing?" he shouted. "You can't work on that guy's bike. We don't service criminals here." The shop fell silent again. Marcus tried to explain that it was just a repair job, nothing more, but Rick didn't care. His voice rose, filled with authority and ignorance. "You're done here. Pack your things." Marcus stood there for a moment, speechless, then quietly set down his tools. Without arguing, he took off his gloves, grabbed his toolbox, and walked out. As the door closed behind him, the sound of the Harley's engine faded into the Detroit evening, leaving only the echo of injustice and the faint smell of oil behind. The next few days passed slowly for Marcus Carter. Detroit's autumn air had turned cold, and so had his mood. He sat at a corner table in a small diner across from his old shop, staring into a cup of black coffee that had long gone cold. His savings were running out, and job offers were scarce. He'd been fired unfairly, but he refused to let bitterness take over. Every morning, he walked by ironclad motors just to see the garage doors open, the smell of oil drifting into the street, a reminder of where he belonged but no longer stood. That morning, as Marcus flipped through the classifieds, a black luxury car pulled up outside the diner. The door opened, and a man in a tailored grey suit stepped out, his polished shoes clicking against the pavement. He looked powerful, confident, and familiar somehow. The man entered the diner, scanning the room until his eyes landed on Marcus. "Marcus Carter?" he asked, voice deep and composed. Marcus looked up surprised. "Yes, sir." "Do I know you?" The man smiled faintly. "Not yet. My name's Jonathan Dalton. I own Ironclad Motors." Marcus froze. He hadn't expected to ever see the CEO himself. Jonathan sat across from him and ordered coffee. "I heard you fixed a Harley for a man named Rex Dalton," he said calmly. Marcus nodded, unsure where this was going. That man is my younger brother. The words hit Marcus like a jolt. He blinked, confused. Your brother? Jonathan nodded. We haven't spoken in over 10 years, but yesterday he called me. Said he met a mechanic who treated him with respect. No judgment, no fear, just honesty and skill. That mechanic was you. Marcus sat silently, the pieces coming together. Jonathan continued, his tone firm but warm. When I found out you'd been fired because of it, I drove here myself. Rick Sanders made a mistake, and I've already corrected it. Marcus raised his eyebrows. You mean? Jonathan smiled. You're rehired, Marcus. Not just that, you're being promoted to lead mechanic. I need people like you running my shop. People who do what's right, not what's easy. Marcus sat back, speechless. For a moment, all the noise of the diner faded away. After days of doubt and humiliation, hope returned.